the only blemish on my play, I drew a 2180. And I offered a draw because I was playing really slowly and I didn't like my position. And he thought like 5 minutes and accepted. My position was okay. I was playing really slowly. This is Alexander Rutten. He plays in a lot of Scholastic National Championships also. Okay. And I usually don't play d5 ever in these lines, but I did here. And it's not too exciting. Yeah, and I'm just playing really, really, really slowly, looking at different moves and rejecting them. Like c4 all the time, and bishop a6, and queen a5, and then I'm just making random moves after I think for 10 minutes and reject them. So this is an interesting pawn sacrifice, because when I go here, which I did not do, he's going to play knight a4. Otherwise, it makes no sense, which gives this pawn away. And then the pawn structure for me is not very good. He could play knight e5 or just take. He thought this was interesting, but that seems a bit silly. Yeah, the engine says that's a bit silly. Yeah. And, you know, obviously if he gets to play c4, my pawn structure, my bishop's trapped. The engine says white's much better here, and it plays a move that I did not see, queen e1. I'm thinking he didn't see that either because we didn't talk about it. And the idea is I have to trade queens because my double attack. Now, if I move my knight, I lose this pawn. So I have to play f5. And the engine just says white has a huge advantage here because this bishop is such a joke. It's a permanent joke, too. So it's so anti-positional I didn't do it. But it turns out I shouldn't do it. Okay, I played the move the engine likes, knight d7. I want to move my f-pawn and defend my c-pawn. All right. He played rook e1. Yeah, now I had my GM title taken away. I couldn't think of a good plan here, so I thought forever and did a bad plan. One of my plans was to play d4, e5, bishop here, f5 eventually. The engine says that's okay. The engine plays bishop a6 just to get the bishop out, play c4 later. I didn't know what to do here, so I did something really dumb. Not losing dumb, just like, why are you a grandmaster? Like, you should retire. That kind of dumb. Yay, 500 viewers. I played bishop f6, which forces him to play e5, and then I go back, and now I can, play f6 and open up the file for my rook. That's sort of a dumb plan. He played knight a4, putting pressure here. And my bishop is obviously permanently bad. And the engine does not like the move I made. And you know what move I made. Don't ever make that move. That's the move I made. Not too good either. Yeah, I played f6. Thanks for the sub. He took, which is correct, threatening my pawn. I took with the rook. I mean, eventually I want to push my center pawns. And he played reasonable move d4. Not bad. Okay, we trade everything. Okay. And basically, either I get to push my pawns or I don't. And if I don't, then my game's no good because these guys are no good. But if I do, then potentially my game is good. Okay, the engine says my game is no good here. Now, the problem with c5 immediately is it hangs this pawn and I resign because my pawn's pinned. So I can't do that. If I do nothing, he plays b4 and I'll never play c5. If I play e5 here, it's not defended enough. He's got the three guys. Okay. So if bishop b7, so I can double up on the bubble up and play c5, he plays b4. So I play queen d6. So I'm ready to play c5 now. And he played knight e5. And again, I'm thinking forever on every move. My next move is actually the engine move. And when the game ended and we analyzed the game afterwards, I concluded it was bad. So I guess I'm just a bad player. If I play c5 right away, he moves his queen either here or here, doesn't matter. Now he's threatening to take my knight and take my pawn. So I would play... Actually, he should play queen c3. That way he could take with the rook if I take his knight. And the idea is after d4, plays queen g3, and now he's threatening. He has two threats. Knight takes, knight wins, because my queen's hanging, and so if I trade queens, then my c-pawn's not defended. And he's also threatening knight g4, which just wins in exchange, because my queen's hanging and my rook's hanging with check. So rook f5 is forced, and then this engine says after either knight d7 or knight c4, black is doing very badly. This is the main line. And it just says this is horrible for black. The knight has good squares. This pawn's backwards. How am I supposed to win? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to attack? Yeah, this is like a Magnus Carlsen dream if he's white. Just squeeze, 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 and black can't do anything. Black's pawns are all weak. This engine says 0.8 for white. Okay, so instead, I played rook f5, which is the engine move. And his next move surprised me, but it's the only good move. So I guess I'm no good. He played f4, otherwise it's equal. That gives him the advantage still. I played c5, which is correct. He played queen e3, which is correct. Again, he's threatening knight takes knight, and then my pawn's hanging. Okay, and here I thought forever, because d4 loses, like the obvious move, plays queen here, and if I play rook b8, the obvious move, he plays knight c6. The engine says queen c6. Queen c6 also wins, but we didn't see that. This threatens my rook and has another threat, which is harder to see. So if I move my rook, he goes check, forking my king and rook, and then he takes this. And we both saw this. And then I lose. So I can't play d4. So in this position, I thought forever, and I played the best move, c4. And it's a temporary pawn sack because his knight on a4 is not defended if he takes it. Turns out if he takes it, it is equal. And the engine says by far the best move is queen d4, which I didn't see actually. And at this point, he had about an hour left. We started with 2 hours each, so I moved 20. And I had 25 minutes left. I just wasn't moving this game. I was having a lot of trouble. And the engine says after queen d4, white has a nice advantage. I mean, obviously, pieces are ridiculous. So I offered a draw after c4. He thought about 5 minutes and he accepted. I don't know. The thing is, I didn't like my position, which was correct. I didn't like the time situation. And usually once a tournament or more, I just don't move. I sit there, make random legal move. And then happens the next move. And then I'm like, oh, God. And then, it's move 25 and I have a minute left. So I try to offer draws then because I just can't play. There's like something wrong. I can't play chess. And I'm afraid to move. And I played okay this game, but bishop f6 back to e7 is really stupid.